curriculum that they're being taught, how their tax dollars are being dedicated to their education. All of that is important and significant, right? And I think on some levels, local elections are even more important than the federal and state elections because of the impact that they have on you on your day-to-day living in communities, right? So you have, I think, an even greater role in your participation as community leaders in casting your vote in the local elections. So don't let any opportunity pass you by in voting. So here in Passaic County, we have had already, we had a March, we had an April, we had a May, we had a June. November will be our 5th election. And if you live in Passaic County, I hope that you had an opportunity to vote in almost every election that you could have. Again, we're going to be this year having an opportunity to vote. We had 3 years ago, our legislators wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity. You did not miss an opportunity to vote, right? Because not voting is not an option. So they implemented something called early voting. So there's no excuse not to vote. You have 9 days of early voting before every general election now. This year, early voting begins on October 26th. It ends on November 3rd. The hours of early voting are from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and on Sundays it's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you do not miss an opportunity. My office is open all of those days. The polling locations, and we have some handouts here in Passaic County. We have 10 polling locations for early voting, which means when you're out shopping on the weekends, you're at the mall, you can go and you can cast your vote. Even if you're a Clifton resident and you're in Wayne, stop by the Wayne Library. If you're in Patterson, you have 2 Patterson locations to vote. Wanacue, you have the Wanacue you have the Wanacue Passaic County Community College, you can go vote. That's the only time where you can go vote at any polling location in the county of Passaic. No excuse, go vote. That's early voting. You also, if you're a vote by mail voter, this weekend, your ballots are going to be mailed to you. So expect to receive your ballot if you are a vote by mail voter within the next week. We have drop box locations. I think there are at least 19 throughout the county. And we all know that we've been having some issues with the Postal Service, right? I'm not a fan. Use a drop box. You can use any drop box within the county to put your vote by mail ballot in, and it will go back to the Board of Elections. That drop box will be open until 8 p.m. on election night. Use the drop box. That's the preferred method if you're a vote by mail ballot. And then, of course, election day. But I'm going to tell you right now, there are going to be some people who haven't voted in person in an election in 8 years because some people don't vote until a presidential election. We know that. And they're going to feel empowered, which I hope they do, to vote this year on presidential. I want everybody to vote. Don't wait until election day because we're expecting, I hope, big turnout, right? Don't wait until election day. Vote early and vote during the early voting days. But if you're a vote by mail voter, put your ballot in the drop box and then encourage other people to go and vote. There's no excuse this year, okay? I also wrote because Passaic County, like the state of New Jersey historically, has had an issue with voter turnout. So I just want to give you the numbers because this is why Halima asked me to come. Because folks know that voter registration we've never had an issue with. And here in Passaic County, our numbers are 330. We have over 330,000 registered voters, which is great. We never have an issue registering voters. But the problem is getting people to actually show up at the polls. That's the problem. And I'm very disappointed that historically we've had an issue getting people to show up. So in 2016, it was a presidential election. Passaic County had 23% voter turnout. That's poor. The state of New Jersey, 26%. 2020 was an all vote by mail election. We had COVID, it was COVID. People had no option but to vote by mail, right? So this was a great turnout for Passaic County, 69%. 72% for the state of New Jersey. 2021, it was a gubernatorial election. This was the year that we introduced our new voting equipment, which, by the way, I love because you can vote on the machine, but you also get to see a printout of your vote on the machine. It prints out on the voter activation card. So everybody is going to get a chance to vote this machine if you haven't seen it. So you can verify what you voted on the machine is actually what is going to be counted. So 2021 gubernatorial election, another very significant election in November. We had 34.35% turnout in Passaic County, 40% in New Jersey. 2022, Passaic County, 35%. New Jersey, 41%. 2023, in Passaic County, 21.9% voter turnout, and in New Jersey, 27%. People somehow start to get apathetic, and I don't understand why, because we have to think about the struggles and the sacrifices of our ancestors. Think about people that are new to this country. You work hard to have the opportunity to vote, right? It's not something that's given to you, it's something that's earned. Even people that, I think about the struggles of my ancestors and all the sacrifices they made for equality, for representation. Not everybody had this opportunity. You deserve it, you earned it. This past June, 2024, remember, this is a presidential year. We had 13.68% voter turnout in Passaic County. It's really, I'm embarrassed to say that people don't really take this opportunity to express themselves at the polling locations. And we had, yes, it was the presidential primary, but we also had other very important local elections here in Passaic County. The sheriff was on the ballot, and there were other races on the ballot. And I've always mentioned Patterson because Patterson voters are very frustrated. They're angry about the situation, their plight. And Patterson had a municipal election this past May, and the voter turnout was 15.24%. So I always tell my children, don't get angry. Nobody cares about your anger. Nobody cares about your frustration. You want to do something, you go out and vote. If you want to make change, you have to vote. What motivates people, right, in this country? Believe it or not, you want people to change, you have to be the change. You have to be you have the ability to control the change through your vote. You affect people's lives, you affect their jobs. You vote people out of office by the power of your vote. So I also want to encourage you to serve your community by working as a poll worker. Participate in the process. Protect democracy. I get calls from people all the time. They don't understand the process. They don't understand why they weren't allowed to vote on election day, because when you ask for a mail-in ballot, you actually can't vote on the machine. Well, no. You want to know why? Because we don't know if you actually sent your mail-in ballot. You only have one opportunity to vote, not two. So poll workers understand that. Don't give your poll workers a hard time. It's one way to educate yourself about the process, but it's also another way to serve your community, right? And help us by ensuring the integrity of the election. You earned it, you deserve it, and we will be honored to have you work alongside of us on election day. What else? So, important dates again, October 26th is the first day of early voting. Don't forget that. I mentioned the other days. We want to make sure that you're part of the process, right? How can you do that? Encourage people, of course, register them to vote, but not just register. You actually have to vote. You got to vote. You have to make sure your young people, they're college students, if they're away at school, they can apply for a vote by mail application and have their ballot sent to their homes. And they have to fill it out, not on the back, but they have to fill it out and they can send it back. But those vote by mail applications, the vote by mail ballots are going to be going out. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. But right now you can take an opportunity to look at our e-poll books, which is all new equipment. So if you haven't voted since 2020 or 2021, well, 2020 was the last presidential. 2021, we got the new equipment. It's all great equipment. We love it. The software, the technology is wonderful. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Who wants to be first?
Yeah. Come on up. And we have bags for you guys. Yep, come on up.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, I hope everybody does their county.
Oh, absolutely. I really like the early voting,
Oh, yeah.
so I don't have to worry about the.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
My information is on that last flyer on the first name on the last page. Hi, nice to meet you.
I get a shot at that while you're holding it open. Feel free to wave on the camera if you like.
I think everyone can do it. Yeah. These are all different things.
Thank you.
And once the boom, you give an idea of that.
I know that it's like.
There is the sign up, yeah. I got it from here. I'm actually Morris County. You're Passaic County, but Morris County. Yeah.
All right, guys. Stream.
Oh, yeah.